Module 1. What is purpose? The first question that you most likely have is, what exactly is purpose? Because the random guru or the red pillar that you see online who just says, find your purpose, find your purpose, find your purpose, they never go into a real description and tell you exactly what the hell purpose is. And don't speak on it further. The reason why they do this is because every other guru out there says, find your purpose. They just want the likes on the video for you to see it, but they don't want to give you actual value. But what purpose truly is the reason why you were put on this fucking earth. What you were meant to give to this world. That is what purpose is. So an actionable step you need to take right now is I want you to pause this video and turn everything off, only for a few minutes. And put a piece of paper, a pen, right in front of you. And I want you to write. No, actually, I want you to think of all the desires in your mind. And then write them down on the paper. And then I want you to go through every single desire and ask, what are the roots of this desire? Where did this come from? Of course you're not going to want to admit it. Oh, it came from this Andrew Tate podcast. Oh, it came from Eli Ghazi. Oh, I saw this YouTube short the other day, and I thought it would be cool to do, because his desire and purpose sounds better than mine. Sounds cooler. Sounds like it get more validation from others that we don't give a fuck about. Or it was from that red pillar. You ask yourself, why do I want to make money? Why do I want to be rich? Because were you born thinking, oh, I want to be rich? Or, oh, I want to fuck as many women as possible? No, of course not. You saw it from your red pillar that you watch all the time say, you should fuck as many women as possible, bro. She's damaged because she sleeps around everywhere, but I can damage her. I'm not in the wrong. Because it's harder for a guy to sleep around than a woman, so that should justify it. Why don't you think about this? If all these red pillars and their followers are being pushed onto degeneracy and trying to fuck as many women as possible and damage as many women as possible, because we all know when a woman sleeps around, she becomes damaged over time. So what these people are doing is damaging future women that could have been in your fucking life. They're damaging your future wife of your children. Because they are going to cold approach her. They are going to do every single tactic that the red pillar gave them. And now, we can only hope that they're strong enough to say no. It's really crazy what they're doing. But I don't want to be like these red pillars. Because all you do is damage other women and fuck the same stinky hole that has another man's sperm in it. Another man the other day probably cummed in that bitch. And you still want to sleep around with him? I don't. So now I want you to do another actionable step with me. I want you to picture an onion. Like, just an onion. And you know how an onion has layers upon layers upon layers upon layers upon layers? Well, that's what purpose is. Until you get to this core purpose. The reason why you were put on this fucking earth to do. And to give to the world. But, me personally, I've nowhere close to finding this core purpose of mine. Because I've only fulfilled 3 purpose layers. By pulling them back and fulfilling whatever purpose layer this is. It could have been getting in shape, getting more women, attracting women, cold approach skill, making your mental health better, stuff like that. That is a purpose layer. And once you peel it back, and you make sure it stays peeled back, because this will go down if you neglect this skill or desire. Then you have this other layer, and then another layer, and then another layer, and then another layer, and then another. It could be hundreds of layers that take 6 months to 2 years to finish. And that is what purpose layers are. Module 2. A wandering mind is an unhappy mind. I've learned this from Hamza. And I want you to now imagine waking up for school or work or whatever. How many negative thoughts just go on through your mind in that 30-minute to 45-minute time span? Genuinely hundreds or thousands of negative thoughts. Just in that period of time of you waking up. You eating that shit food the other day. You felt like shit. I didn't want to actually eat it, but I still ate it. You watched porn yesterday. You just reset your no frap streak. Oh, this girl from a year back, she said no when I tried to cold approach her. It was so embarrassing. Or when I was popcorn reading in class and I stumbled on my words and got embarrassed. Because that's what happened to me all the time when I was 12, 13. Always thinking about these negative thoughts every single day. Like, why do I still have these fat ass titties on me? Why can't I see my dick sometimes? Now, I want you to think about when you were at school and you were bored. You're working on this task that your teacher gave you, saying in your mind, oh, when the fuck am I gonna learn the Pythagorean theorem? What the hell does that give me any usage in the future? When am I gonna learn about pi again unless I'm being an architect? Give you these random ass tasks that you know damn well probably won't help you. And because you know you didn't want your parents to be on your fucking ass when you didn't do it and you got a 0. So you still did it. You focused on it. You half-assed on it. But now, when you were thinking, just sitting there, bored in class, not knowing what to do, can't be on your phone, You're thinking, damn, I can't wait to go home and watch that new shit. Watch the anime. Go on TikTok. Scroll on my phone. Anything but this shit. But when you got home and you were doing these things, watching the anime, watching the TV, death scrolling, it was truly the worst part of your day. Because while you were doing this, you were thinking all these negative thoughts while you wanted to do this. You weren't you weren't focused on the singular task. But you're just mindlessly scrolling. Oh, a negative thought again. Another negative thought, another negative thought. The whole time you're wanting to go home and go do this, the demons just start going crazy. Saying, oh, you could be working out right now. You could be doing this. You should have been doing this right now. Why did you eat that junk food while watching this anime? Why are you doing all that shit? Because this is not the peak human experience. And why am I talking about this? Because of what's called flow state. This is the peak human experience. This is what helps you find this purpose layer. So now we talk about flow state. Module 3, flow state. First, we need to talk about what flow state truly is to be able to find your current purpose layer. So what is this flow state? Why is this the peak human experience? Well, flow state is when what athletes call the zone. When you think of nothing. Like when you're playing a sport. Let's take basketball for example. You're playing against another team. You're going crazy. And when you're working your best, you're playing the best you can, your mind just stops thinking. Your mind doesn't go to this time, oh, I ejaculated yesterday, I watched porn, I reset my nofap streak yesterday. It's not thinking about those things, right? Because you're totally immersed into this task. You aren't thinking of these negative thoughts that you had before. Like when I was talking about school, your mind was wondering, your mind wasn't totally present on this one task until you started to actually say, damn, I gotta do this shit. And you actually did it. You know, you had to actually think a little bit. You got the work done, but you were actually focused a little bit more than when you were death scrolling or playing whatever the fuck you play on your phone. And when you're doing this task, it has to be just above your skill level. So this is your skill level, right? The task is just a little above. Because if it was right here, it wouldn't be challenging enough. If it was right here, you'd just be bored. If it was right here, you would still be a little bored, but like, eh. But when it's right here, perfectly just above your skill level, you enter that zone, the flow state. Because if it's also up here, like, damn, I'm fucking asshole. I can't do shit on this team right now. Then you won't be in a flow state. Now, how do we enter this flow state, to that right skill level that you have, and then just above it, the task. So how do we find this? It could be, for example, you're playing 5v5 against another team, and these people are actually a little bit better than you. They're doing all the crazy moves, up and unders, fucking Kobe fadeaways and shit. But it's not too hard to where they're like D1 level athletes just dogging on your ass, like, cause then it won't be just right here above your skill level. It'll be fucking up here. But when it's just right, you enter that zone, the peak human experience, flow state. So another term for this is, if you read The Way of the Spirit Man, just leaning just beyond your edge. And leaning just beyond your edge is your fear. You're living in this like little uncomfort zone. But it's not too bad that it's like the D1 athletes dunking on your ass. But it's just right. Just right. To where you're actually competitive and like, damn, I really want to win this shit. I don't want to lose. We're down by like 2 points. We got this shit. So, because doing great work is a struggle, because great work is a struggle. Getting into flow state is a struggle. Because when you're trying to get in this flow state, like say I'm recording this video, I try to do all this other task. Oh, I gotta go get my water bottle. Oh, I gotta refill my water bottle. I should edit this script a little. I shouldn't record yet. I gotta do this other thing. I gotta get my glasses. I gotta get a hair tie. I gotta fix my hair real quick. I gotta do all that shit. Cause this is like treading through deep snow. To try and get through this flow state barrier, which we call flow state blockers. Like these notifications on your phone, they keep on going off. Oh, this one person on Instagram liked my post. Like, come on now. And because we keep on getting distracted doing all these other things that are around us and switching from task to task to task to task, we don't sit down and, like I'm doing, record the video, work on the homework, do something that's important to your goals. So now, why do I need to know about flow state? Because it helps you find your current purpose layer. Because if you feel out all these tasks and these desires, and you feel all of them out, you do it, and you get in a flow state in one of these, like, doesn't take you any time at all, you just go straight into it, and you're straight in that flow state. That is most likely your purpose layer. Because this purpose layer is something that you feel intrinsically pulled towards. You want to do it. And you know it's fun to do. Because you're making progress to your goals. So now, move on to Module 4. Module 4, how do I find this purpose layer? So I want you to think of the current desires, the things that you've currently been wanting to do. And it could be the women, the business model, working out, Instagram likes, the Tinder likes, stuff like that. And like I was talking about before, should feel out these desires. So now, I want you to go and feel out these desires. After this video, of course. But now, when you've been feeling out these desires, and like I said before, you feel like, oh yeah, I really want to do this right now. I really want to go and work on my physique. I really want to go work on my cold approach skill. I don't want to be a degenerate though. But I just want to work on this cold approach skill. I want to go and make some money to be able to retire my parents. I want to go do this task right here. I don't need these other desires now. Because I know this is most likely my purpose layer, because I get in a flow state very quickly when I'm doing this. But then, because you're watching these other influencers, the Red Pillars, Andrew Tate podcasts, the shorts, of course you're going to question this desire and think, oh, do I really want to go improve my physique when I could go get rich? I could go do this, do that. Because if you keep on thinking like this and you actually move around, you're going to start feeling like shit. Because now you know what your purpose layer is. And when you push off your purpose, you feel like shit. Because when I push off these videos that I do, I feel like shit. Because I know that my purpose layer right now is to be able to help people who are in the same state as my younger self. So that's why you need to not adopt other desires that sound better and you could get more validation from random ass people that you don't even give a fuck about. So what I learned from Alex Morsey is the best athletes or businessmen or entrepreneurs, they have singular focus. They say no to everything else. They make this one thing, the basketball, the football, the soccer, and they focus entirely on this. They don't go to the parties, the little vacation getaways. Oh, I want to be rich now. I'm going to do this now, guys. How do you think they become so great? Because they think about just this one thing. They put singular focus on this purpose layer. And that's how they achieve their goal. They fulfilled their purpose layer. But how do we know for sure the true test of this desire to see if it is truly your purpose layer? We move on to Module 5. Module 5. The true way to know for sure this is your purpose layer. Now, this is the hard part. Because your monkey brain, your Jeffrey brain, is going to say, fuck that shit. I'm not doing that. Because it's hard work. It's a struggle. It's something that makes you uncomfortable. But if you truly want this video to help you, you need to do this fucking actionable step. But I already know that 90% of you aren't going to do it. Because there's action takers. The people who will be the 1%ers later in life, or are right now. And then the 90%. The people who don't take action. They're going to keep on living their life of mediocrity and hating themselves for not doing that workout, or they reset their nofap streak, or that one girl said no to me the other day when I cold approached her. But this is the actual step you need to take if you truly want to know your purpose later. I want you to go into your room, turn everything off. Click that power button, switch off. No, nothing, just a piece of paper and a pen. I want you to sit and stare at your wall like a psychopath and talk to yourself out loud for 24 hours, preferably 3 days, with no distractions. And then I want you to think and journal about this thing that got you into this flow task that you were intrinsically pulled towards. And I want you to ask yourself these questions. Where did this desire originate? Where are the roots from, like we were talking about before? Oh, it came from that Red Pillar, the Andrew Tate podcast. And once you find this deep-rooted desire, I want you to think about, would you be genuinely fulfilled by making progress in this field? Because before, what I thought was my purpose layer, or what I thought was my purpose, was I was doing SMA before this. And because when I was contemplating my purpose, and while I was doing this SMA, I kept on getting thoughts in my head like, damn, I really have to do this shit today. I don't even get in a flow state with this. I just do it because I have to do it. I don't really give a fuck about making the gym owners that I was working with get a bunch of revenue. I didn't give a single fuck about that. And then I actually did this actionable step and stared at my wall like a psychopath and talked to myself and journal. And I came to the conclusion that it was just a mask on my purpose layer. I thought it was that, but when I really dug deep and got into my roots, it just came from this Ime Ghazi YouTube video I saw. The top 10 best business models. And, or the only business model you need right now to get you successful and rich. I was gonna buy the Ime Ghazi course. He sold me. He put this desire into my mind, thinking, and gave me the thought that this is the only way to go. This is the only way and the best way to make money. But it wasn't for me. Because I didn't get in a flow state while hopping on these calls with the gym owners, DMing people every single day, editing my outreach script. But sure, if SMA is for you, it's for you. You get in a flow state while sending DMs. You get in a flow state while hopping on these calls with the gym owners or real estate owners, whatever your niche is. Then it's for you. But it wasn't for me. Because I didn't give a fuck. I didn't give a fuck about sending DMs to these owners. I didn't give a fuck about helping my clients. Even though I like gyms. I just didn't give a fuck about it. So, I took that mask off and found my purpose layer right now. Or, it might truly be my purpose in life. And it's to help, like I said before, help the younger me. And help the people the young men who were in the same situation as me. And that's what I think is my purpose layer right now. What I know for a fact it is. Because then I went into my roots again. I've loved since I was 7, telling people the information I learned and giving advice out to others. Giving solutions that I think are the best for them to my friends throughout basically my whole life. So that's why I think it is genuinely speaking for me in giving advice, in helping people who are in the same rut as me when I was 12, 13. So, if you think that this video was fucking spitting game and giving you good ass knowledge, and I'm not speaking some bullshit, and you think that one of your friends needs to find their fucking purpose, and you don't want to be alone on this journey, it would be awesome if you spread this fucking video through word of mouth. Share it to your friend. Be like, bro, you have been looking like shit. You have not been on what you need to do. I think you should genuinely find your purpose. Share this fucking video with them. But if you also want more game and you don't want no bullshit, look out for more videos, man. And don't be complacent.